Hey guys, welcome to the show before the show, May 2nd. Of course, we have a little podcast show we do here. we're we're live. That's why I tell you at 7:57 is we're getting set as we come in. We just always like to say hello to you guys, answer questions, catch up for a few minutes before we get in, get the audience kicking and ready to go as we get started. Lizzie's here today. She's in studio. She's talking with people already, which is really, really, really cool. What do we got here? Oh, I always love it when I'm looking at text. Tabitha says, I'm probably going to be in a few minutes late today. She says, I forgot my night vision in home and had to go back and get it. What do you think she means?
Her night vision. It's probably when she goes to that Satan house and she needs those glasses to get in there. That's what I think.
She's a sniper.
Yeah. That's why she has that tab. If you're listening, it's all cool. By the way, once again, just reminding people, you can always listen to everything we do live, taped, library at cancelthisshow.com. Love it when you guys are doing that. Is it me? No, I'm just going to stop that. I won't even go down that road. Anyway, we're going to get to a lot today. We brought it up last week. By the way, National Prayer Day is Thursday, so we're going to talk with a woman coming up at about 9:40 today, just to promote that as well. So that'll be cool. Hope everybody had a good night last night. If you have any questions, you can certainly ask us. We love it when you guys share the show. So today, share the show, please, please. Kathleen Morgan is who we're going to be talking to. That'll be coming up closer to 9 o'clock. And it's always cool when Eric sends video in. I've seen this video that Eric has shown about Stanley Kubrick before on his deathbed, director. I've seen it. Eric's going to tell us all about it. We'll deal with that coming up a little bit later. It's always cool when he does that. So anyway, if you guys, as always, have story ideas, if you have anything, interview ideas, just let us know. We like to get everybody kicking, seeing everything that's going on there as well. Also, let's see here. I was curious if people still drink as much coffee as they used to, Lizzie.
I don't drink any coffee.
Have you ever had coffee?
One time, and I didn't like it, and I've never drank it since.
What?
No. But all my kids
did.
do.
You like wine the first time you had wine?
Yeah, I did. I liked beer the first time too, but
I can't remember. Are you a shot lady? Did I see you doing shots?
You might have.
That's what I thought. Who likes a shot the first time they do it?
I'm not sure I did like the shot the first time, but I sure like them now.
Oh man. Just I would say hi Cindy. Thank you for the video that you sent me, Cindy, this morning. Mary, Karen. Yeah, I was curious about this because for the longest time I never drank coffee. I did I anchored morning news for almost 6 years when I was in Detroit, and I never drank coffee the entire time I was there. I would pop, and I know this sounds real healthy, a bottle of 5-Hour Energy.
Oh, I think a lot of people do
those little tiny ones.
Yeah.
And I would do Zip Fizzes that I would always get at like Sam's.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I moved to St. Louis about, 8 years ago that I started drinking coffee.
Coffee smells so good. I wish I liked it. It smells good.
I agree. Then it was dangerous because I saw like the cappuccino stuff and all that, and I was like, wait a second, this is devil. That's what could be addicting. The chocolate shake coffees. It's like, stay away from those things. So I had to get out of that really, really fast.
Coffee's like candy these days. They put so much stuff.
Well, sugar's so bad. I was watching, and we'll get into it at some point. I was watching some videos on what sugar does. If you can give up sugar for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, what's called like intentional sugar, how it'll change your body, your feeling, all of that. I have to remind myself to do that every now and then. I'm currently like in day 7. And then you start to get rid of that
sugar heaviness.
Yeah,
and
the craving.
I've been doing intermittent fasting, and that changes. I mean, like there's so many toxins that we eat every day, and everything that we eat.
It's tough.
And
I know. Trust
if
me.
you
I
do
get it.
intermittent fasting, it just cleanses your system.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, guys. It's about that time. We're going to go ahead. We'll get the show started. We appreciate you. Let's kick it off, Projo. Hey guys, welcome to canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust, Tab of the Hassle, Eric Johnson en route. We've got Lizzie Sparks in studio today. Projo on the boards as well. Let's hear it again. Let's kick off this show the right way, Joe. Come on, baby. It's our only sound drop, so we overdo it. But we love it. Hey guys, welcome in. Of course, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central Time. You can catch us all the time at cancelthisshow.com. Share the show, like, subscribe, send the stars. Please, please, please. We appreciate it when you do that as well. And of course, we do all the things. We have headlines, news-wise, politics, interviews, society, business, and cancel culture. There was a series of earthquakes that was shaking a Tennessee town near Missouri's border. I can't remember. I thought it was Tabitha talking about earthquakes and things. Woo! Tabitha says her son was there. She's getting ready. She's putting her makeup on, her lipstick. Hey guys, lots to get to today. I was just talking about it. We love your comments, guys. Just go ahead. We try to say hi when we can. Paul, Mike, Aaron, Robert, everybody jumping in. I have no idea what Robert just said. Chromium and cinnamon. What the hell are you talking about?
Isn't that like a weight loss thing with when you put the cinnamon and that chromium and it like stops your metabolism or slows it down? I guess
I was going to say if you're
I guess you'd be dead if you slowed
I was like,
it that
should that be happening? I'm not quite sure.
Probably not. Coming
up today, Vladimir Putin makes a very, very interesting claim about the United States CIA. Do people even care? I don't know. We'll see where that is, see if people even care about it. Also, coming up during the show today, we are getting to the bottom of another just bizarre situation that Tabitha is going to bring up. Did you want to tease that? You probably haven't even seen the list yet. Never mind. Have you?
What is it?
You're flying around kind of wild and
I know
crazy
all the
today.
news.
She is wild.
Throw it at me.
Wild.
Climate control controversy. Now, we talk about this all the time. Yes, you're supposed to do your own research and find your own news and find your own facts. But if you go out just looking at headlines and things, and it's difficult, Tabitha, you act like it, Tabitha, sometimes. It's so easy to go do it. And if I say something wrong, correct me. It's not easy to go out and get your own news. It's not. I don't even think it's partly easy because we're going to talk.
It's research.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of time.
It does take time.
And that's what people don't have in today's society. And then you have these goofballs who are putting out false memes, making up false narratives and stories of pictures that just aren't true. You still don't know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about, except for you're just wrong.
Okay.
You're already wrong already.
Because I know. Are you talking about New York and the Statue of Liberty? Well, the pictures are correct.
But the story isn't.
The story is correct. But what's wrong is we have these ridiculous fact checkers. We have these ridiculous fact checkers out there who think one of our listeners posted a meme on Facebook, and I happened to come across it, and it was the meme about New York City, and it was talking about climate change and the climate change hoax. And I know, Vic, you're going to agree with me.
Start right. Let's just go there. We'll start with it.
So the meme was about climate change, the climate change hoax, and the meme was a picture of the Statue of Liberty many years ago. I think in like 1926,
early 1900s.
Yeah, and then a picture of the Statue of Liberty now, and they say, how can we say that climate change exists? That we have global warming when we show that the water levels are the same today in the New York Harbor as they were.
I misunderstood.
I knew you did. I was messing with you. And so in the New York Harbor, the water's the same now as it was in 1926, I believe it was. And so, of course, we had a fact checker that put a big block across this person's post and said, "Oh, check your facts. That's not accurate.
That's the part.
You're spreading misleading, false information." So I opened up the fact check, as I often do, because I'm like, I've got to see. Of course, it was a fact check by USA Today. And you have to open these things up because they are just hilarious. And this woman who's doing, I guess she's a woman who's doing the fact checking.
What do you mean you guess she's a
Well,
woman?
I didn't really look. I mean, she had a female name. And so,
well, you don't know these days.
and so she, and no disrespect, to her or anyone else, but so she was fact checking the article, the meme, and she said, "Well, this is inaccurate. We can't look at a picture of the New York Harbor and the Statue of Liberty and say that the water levels haven't changed or that climate change doesn't exist because of this. We can't say the water levels aren't higher because there are gauges," she said, "across the world that have proven that the water level is actually higher." So she's telling you, don't believe your own eyes. Don't believe your own eyes. She goes, "Well, these photographs were taken from different sides of the Statue of Liberty." I'm like, no, it was the exact same photo.
Mm-hmm.
It was the exact same photo. And then she referred to the Statue of Liberty as a he.
Say what?
Oh, goodness.
She referred to the Statue of Liberty as a he.
That should tell you all you need to know.
Mhm.
And she was talking about the Statue of Liberty as if it were a person and referring to it as a he. And I seriously about lost my mind.
I bet you did.
I try to stay out of the gender stuff. I don't care what you do. If you're he, she, non-binary, I don't even know what all that means. I don't even care. But when you talk about the Statue of Liberty and you're fact-checking people and you're telling us we're wrong about climate change, and they're telling us you can't believe your own eyes. That's what's frustrating, isn't it?
Well, it is. And it's another reason why we wanted to jump in on it. Number one, how much time do you guys really put into getting your news, your information, your headlines in? Where do you get it? And what do you trust? Because it's human nature to veer, to lean into things that you like. You're not going to go lean into something you don't like or, quote, don't trust. And that can be an issue. And guess what? That can come from every side. Republicans, libertarians, independents, where people are like, yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not going to get into that. One thing that we do know for a fact is that climate change is not real. It's not even real.
Pollution is real.
Pollution
Climate
is real.
change is not real.
Correct.
And it's
Two different
unfortunate because
things.
there's people who are so uneducated, they have no idea that they believe headlines. Oh, climate change is real. As we talked about last week, there are patterns, weather patterns, as Dave Murray, who is arguably one of the best meteorologists that the country's ever seen, has broken down several times. It just doesn't exist. But if you're into that, of course, you're going to spout whatever you can. You don't sound so intelligent when you talk about it because you don't have stats or facts to back it up, but it sounds good to you if you're a person that says that.
Of course. And like Robert Peterboe said, because it was on his post that I saw, he's the one that got fact checked. This fact checker from USA Today was trying to say, oh, well, this photo, the latter one was taken at low tide. It doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter. I've been to New York Harbor. Many of us have. We've been to the Statue of Liberty. I was just there, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. The water level, it has not risen. We can look at Plymouth Rock, and it has not changed since the 1600s. The water levels have remained the same. And that's not to say that someday they won't change, but it's not because of man and what man does. Weather is cyclical. We have highs and lows in temperature. We've had an ice age, and we have a warming phase. We're at the top of our warming cycle right now. And you know how we know that, Vic? Because real scientists who are not funded by their government, that's what they tell us.
Well, it's 100%. They're not funded. Number two, their voices get drowned out.
That's right.
Which leads back into where you're getting your news from. What are you doing? How are you handling this whole situation? Especially when you know that government controls so many aspects of everything, going all the way back to the cupcake, going back to any future possibilities with cupcakes and viruses and pandemics, because we're constantly bombarded by it. But it gets into the pride issue too. People don't look at facts. If they want to believe it, they're going to believe it. And that could go for any side. Robert says wind direction will change water levels. You can see it on the Great Lakes. 100%. I saw that when I lived in Michigan. No doubt about it. It does that. Money and power grabs, of course, not to make it a climate change conversation, but we saw how wrong Al Gore was. I mean, just a flat out moron for the things that he said and put out there, not because he's, quote, a bad guy, but because of what he said, what he put out there, all in the name of money, which is unfortunate. And sometimes that happens. Do you know who I was told? And I guess this was out there. You know who his roommate was in college? I was told this 2 weeks ago. And this is probably
I know
why,
I've heard this, but I can't recall.
it's probably why he wanted to become such a, make a name for himself, because he got tired of being the also ran.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Lee Jones, actor.
Really?
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones in college. And Tommy Lee Jones was a really, really good college football player.
That's right. Yep.
And Al was his roommate. I had a friend that met him in college and said Al just sat by himself, like was just very quiet and looked like angry. And everybody's like, "Oh, Tommy Lee Jones is your roommate, Tommy Lee." And he just finally, I got to come up to something. I'll get into politics and say that the Earth is going to be gone in 15 years
and make billions of dollars off of unassuming people.
But it is serious. I'm just curious. I mean, and we've always put that out there. What are you doing on a daily basis? Number one, do you think like you need to educate yourself on news, local and world events? Do you need to do it? Two, how much time are you putting into it or able to? And do you believe news headlines that are put out there? Do you believe that there's another part to a story, maybe a third part that's out there? We started doing what we did on radio. We do what we do on podcast. We do it live. We try to bring as much information to the table. And no, it's not easy. And we know that we have listeners and viewers all across the country of all different ages. But what are you actually doing?
What I would like to know, Vic, is all of these very progressive folks who believe in the climate change hoax, who are so worried about, the Earth is warming, we're all going to drown under the ocean. I don't know. And what are they doing to save the bees? What are they? They're still mowing their lawns, don't they? I bet some of the liberals have the most beautiful mowed green lawns, which don't support the bees. I bet they're still using pesticides, right? And poisoning our dirt in our ground. What are they doing to clean trash out of the ocean? You don't hear them talk about any of the real issues. We only have one water supply. And
Yep.
if we taint our water supply, which we have done, if we poison our water supply, sorry, Eric, wrong choice words. And we don't have another water supply. There are still people out there who think rain is new water. Rain is not new water. And now we hear there's stories where, is it Mount Everest? As high as Mount Everest is, they're detecting unsafe levels of aluminum. And that's what's coming down in our rainwater. So it's coming down in our condensation. I don't hear any of these climate change folks talking about this stuff.
It is funny, Paul. I did see this before from our chat line. If Obama, the former president, believed in climate change so much, why did he purchase a $15 million mansion right on the water?
Oh, I can't imagine the carbon footprint.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
Because it's going to be underwater.
Also,
what did he do that
Let's
for?
throw him in a 15-minute city.
I don't know his name right now, but a massive financial investor who speaks went out, and he has made it part of his talks when he goes out.
Yeah.
How much money has actually been invested by these massive corporations that talk of climate change and put into the financial industry to back their claims?
Right.
He's like, not $1, zero.
No.
He's like, they're not going out and backing their claims with money on the climate change. It's crazy. So you get an idea of what's really there and what's not. And of course, it all comes because the fact checkers trying to cancel out people who are showing pictures of New York unchanged in over 100 years.
I couldn't believe when Eric, what do you think about a fact checker calling the Statue of Liberty a he?
He.
Unbelievable.
And I know you and I are
that's
the same
sexist.
in that we support,
That's
people of all types.
It is
but
sexist.
But where are the feminists that say, wait a minute, wait, that's a lady welcoming all these people over here?
Well, like Jay,
Where are the feminists at?
Jay's on here talking about straws. You know how you go to, it could be Breadco or wherever, and if you go to Chicago or some other liberal city, they give you a paper straw that gets all mushy.
You know what?
Oh, I hate those things.
You know what?
I hate those things.
Okay, I've got to be honest, guys. I feel like if I'm drinking out of a paper straw, that I'm doing something better for our environment because I do know the problem with plastic.
How
But
often
in
do you drink out of a
plastic cup,
straw?
though.
They're
not
made
that
of
often.
seaweed.
Exactly.
They're made
Us
of
ladies
seaweed.
drink out of straws
Right.
a lot. Those paper straws suck.
They do. And they're
Literally,
mushy
isn't that
and, yes,
ironic
I
that they
can't-
suck?
They
That's
do
ironic.
But they actually don't, because they get soggy, Eric, and they don't
They
suck.
do. And then they don't suck anymore.
And then they fall apart, and then they're mushy, and
Yeah.
they serve zero purpose.
Yeah. Now that's a big Starbucks thing. But by the way,
And not only that, but let's
I
put your
don't have
paper
a
straw through
problem
your
with
plastic
paper
lid.
straws. I feel bad.
I don't
But what
care.
about your
just think
plastic lid? You don't have
it's contradictory.
You have a paper straw and a plastic lid. They just invented those paper straws to annoy us.
I
That
just
has
never
nothing to do with
understood.
I think so,
I
too.
never understood how is there trillions of pounds of plastic in the oceans. I never could understand that. Where did it? Wow. What?
Because there are countries who actually don't collect their trash.
It is
throw
real,
it in
though.
the water.
I know it's real. It's like there's an island floating out in the Pacific
There
right
is.
now of garbage.
They're
But
literally.
like Sherry
So
says, those
I'm in.
straws are wrapped in plastic.
I'm in.
I mean,
I know.
think about that. I mean, that's just
You know
so
what? But
dumb.
to our
they just did that to mess
to
with
our
us.
beautiful guest
True.
Brittany last week, if she would have said something like, look, you want scientific proof that there's pollution, there's this huge trash display in the Pacific, I got pictures of it. A person like me would have said, okay, I'm good with this is okay, we have to do something to clean this up. Someone like Brittany
She did talk about pollution.
and myself could have gotten on the same page with something like that. I say next week we run the entire Al Gore Inconvenient Truth on this show. The entire, and we use it as a benchmark to have a discussion after it's over and see exactly what has come true and what hasn't come true. And then
Well,
We'll lose
most
all
people
our
don't even
viewers and
know what he
listeners,
said.
Eric.
I
Except
don't
one
care.
wants to hear
Look,
Except
him.
one.
Look, here's the deal. If you want to be a part of this train, you're going to have to go through some boring ass garbage.
Says the man who hasn't watched 3,000 Mules.
Well, I'm not going to watch 3,000 Mules
2,000
because
Mules.
because I don't want to be labeled as a conspiracy
Or
theorist.
Ukraine on fire. Or
Right.
maybe we
But-
just need a movie day. We'll watch all of
hold
the
on,
movies.
hold on. Because here's the deal. Al Gore Part 2 to me was that AOC chick. What is her name? Ocasio-Cortez. When she goes, we have 12 years to figure this out, or we're all going to burn up like we're in an oven. Okay. When I
doesn't
heard that,
believe that.
I was like, this bitch is crazy. But at the same time, I looked over at my niece and she was scared out of her ass.
Of course she was.
So
Because people
they
listen
weren't
here,
how-
and
they
that's
weren't-
Vic's point.
they weren't talking to me.
How old is your niece?
She's in her teens, late
Yeah,
teens.
They're not talking to you.
They're not talking to me. And I go, oh my God.
It's brainwashed.
This is genius. These guys are stone cold killers.
Eric, that's interesting because I've done my own unofficial polling over the last few years, having high school kids and still having a senior for another week and a freshman. First of all, what's really cool is I had two of my son's classmates and teammates come up to me at a sporting event recently and go, Mr. Faust, man, that show is awesome. We listen every day.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
I was
great.
like,
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Ben, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are you? He's like, oh yeah, we'll tune it on. We'll listen to class or we'll listen to it during breaks or at lunch. And I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
good. And then of course my own son doesn't listen, but my son's friends
What's wrong
listen.
with these? The communist?
No, not at all.
He is.
But I asked him about it.
Get him on the phone.
And I'm
Right.
not getting into his school, but people can go and look at it, whatever. But he says, but I asked my son because they've been accused of being
Mm-hmm.
liberals. He's like, Dad, he's like, it's probably 50-50 of kids that
Mhm.
buy into these things like climate control.
If that's
or
50 too much.
transgenderism. It is. But then, but he says out of the 50%,
Yeah.
he's like, it's mostly girls. He's
Yeah.
like, it's mostly the girls who are liberal.
Yeah.
And the guys
That
are
makes
not.
sense.
And then I talked to my senior son. Same thing. He said. My daughter, who's now a sophomore at Mizzou, when she was coming through, she had a massive fight. They had an inner fight. It was when the election was going on
Yes.
Mhm.
because girls tried to use peer pressure
Yeah.
I remember that.
about, well, you've got to vote 100% for Biden. You can't even look. She's like, why can't we keep an open mind? I mean, the election hasn't even taken place. It splintered the friend group over election and politics.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff.
Here's
that
the problem
these
with
stories and
liberals.
fact checkers, keeping the story full circle,
Yeah.
And people like,
can do and intimidate and peer pressure.
Here's the,
with
here's
kids.
here's
like
the
you said,
problem
right.
with liberals. Because I'm dying. I literally will pay a liberal $100 to change my mind. I will. I'm open-minded. You guys don't
You still
realize.
have that $100.
You guys don't realize I will
but you're
change
half-
my mind
but some
right
things You're
here.
half
I'll-
liberal on anyway.
I will change my mind right here on the show. Here's the thing with on conservatives and liberals, okay? Conservatives know the facts. Conservatives can bring up all kinds of facts to support what they're saying. XY chromosome for his and her crap. They bring up science. They bring up cause and effect of people streaming over borders. They know the facts.
What are facts?
Anyway, liberals, on the other hand, are the people that get caught with the man on the street stuff when you stick a mic in their face and they go, who was the first president of the United States? Well, they might know it's George Washington, but they know him as a slave owner. And it's like, that's all you know of this guy, the guy that gives you the freedom to speak and do whatever the hell you want to do. That's the problem I have with liberalism, is they don't know the freaking facts.
That's
it's just how they feel.
Yeah.
Every time that we've had a guest in studio that differs on maybe opinions, political, societal, maybe emotional when it comes in here, what do we always hear people say? They're talking about feelings. They're not talking about facts.
No, it's like this thing you guys are talking about with the Statue of Liberty and
that should be our motto.
Yeah,
what I just saw.
It's
cancel this. Facts, not feelings.
Well, there you go.
It's like the 100-year
feelings are out
the 100-year picture with the where the Statue of Liberty is. First of all, I thought that you can't create nor destroy matter, which hydrogen and water is matter. It's not like the planet is drying up. It just gets displaced. Like Lake Mead, it was a great lake at one time.
Well, you know where that water is now?
It's downriver.
It's over its head.
I will tell you exactly where the water is in Lake Mead. It's over at the United Arab Emirates. You know why? Because they are cloud seeding, and there's only one body of water. That's it.
There's just so much water on the planet.
Well, exactly. But there's only one body of water, and it's dispersed all throughout the world. And when we have the United Arab Emirates, they are cloud seeding because they are building unnaturally. They are building a tropical rainforest in the desert. And that means they are taking water out of the atmosphere from other people. And it's really, at some point, they need to start terming it like a warfare. You know, I don't know what you'd call it, like a weather warfare, where if one country is over cloud seeding and bringing all the moisture and all the condensation to their country,
I don't know about that. Yeah, that's again, I don't want to comment on stuff I don't know about. I do know that the rain that comes from the Pacific Ocean, there's enough rain, there's enough condensation and evaporation to make climate happen anywhere. I don't know about this cloud seeding.
Well, but the problem is when one country is literally stealing the water out of the atmosphere.
I'm going to have to take your word for it.
We're going to have droughts.
I'm going to let
places.
I'll let a liberal debate you on that because I don't know what you're talking about.
The problem is 99% of Americans don't. Tabitha will say, yeah, they do. And I was like, it's Tabitha's 1%.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, cloud seeding people look at you like,
I fly at 30,000 feet. When I hear Al Gore go, Miami is going to be underwater by the year 2020 or 2009 or 2011 or whatever it was, and I go, I was nervous. I told Brittany, I go, I was nervous about that. I was like, we got to do something. Something's got to happen. I was hit, and then all of a sudden, 2020 happened, and I look back just on accident. And I saw that thing, and I go, when did he record this thing?
Exactly.
And I looked at all of the charts that he did. Not one of them was correct.
Happened.
I mean, it was like, all right, wait a minute, what? And the cat still has a 40,000 square foot house with like 20 air conditioners. And the cat has 2 jets that he and John Kerry are flying around the world on. And the cat is doing,
it's a sham.
It is, and he's making a fortune off of his silver investments, I would imagine, because of, his investments into green energy. Well, isn't that a little bit of a conflict of interest? The guy is completely vested in solar and wind and all this other stuff. Well, what are you going to do?
About that, Eric?
Yeah.
All of Congress, they're all lining their pockets with the money of the American people, really the people of the world, by saying these hoaxes exist.
And what is Greta Van?
It's just a money grab.
What is her name? Greta Van. What is the girl's name? The autistic chick. Thunberg.
Greta.
What is she going to do now? She can't go back and say, you know what? For national security purposes, it's probably a good idea that we start drilling and using fossil fuels till we can figure out green energy. Her whole business, her whole existence, from the time she wakes up to the time she goes to bed now, is pushing this green garbage.
Is what she was brainwashed at a very young age. She definitely believes what she hears. There's no such thing as fossil fuels.
Yeah.
And you could never convince her of
that. And I loved how Tabitha said there's pollution, but the climate change thing is kind of a farce.
It is.
I thought when you said that today, I was like, okay, that explains the
Pollution is
that
important.
explains the haze that I used to see in LA all the time that you couldn't
It
drive.
doesn't clear out till 1
Yeah,
o'clock.
exactly. I was like, okay, there's that weird difference that you have to wrap your mind around, and you have to be able to say, open the damn pipelines up because the rest of the world is getting ready to bury our asses. And that's kind of how I feel about it, So go look at the pictures from 100 years ago. There used to be a Dust Bowl in Kansas. That's gone now. I wonder how that happened. The Miami is not underwater, no matter what you think.
Well, what happened in California is a prime example. Remember, California had that severe drought, or I guess it was earlier last year. And then they had, 2 or 3 months of what they kept calling an atmospheric river. Remember that? I'd never even heard of an atmospheric river.
That happened to LA.
And within 3 months, this atmospheric river had completely turned things around. And instead of having a drought, they were having floods. The earth replenishes itself. It takes care of itself. If people are here, if we're not here, the earth is going to continue its cycle. And scientists and geologists,
I would love
they
Brittany.
dig down and they can see the layers.
I would love Brittany, who's our resident liberal, apparently, all of a sudden, to get on a conversation with Dave Murray, where I could sit back and go, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's Dave Murray.
It would be bad.
Would that be ridiculous?
It would be good for us,
it would be.
but it would, I hate watching people go through bad things.
No, Brittany needs to.
No, but that would be really bad.
Why?
That would be.
I
Really
like
bad
Brittany.
for her.
I like Brittany, and I just want. I would like for one door to open up at a time. We'll go with the climate door first. Brittany, let's walk through the climate door. I was in the same boat as you. Al Gore petrified me. It was like watching. it was like watching Annabelle for me. It was like, oh my God, the place is going to be underwater pretty soon. But then I realized you lied to us.
Well, and most business owners back then did not like Al Gore. And it didn't even matter if they were Republican or Democrat. It's like every time a liberal would come in your business, it cost you money.
Yeah.
Because you got to attach this because this is going to fall over and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, Al Gore is.
I just want to stop being lied to. That's my big thing.
That's never.
For sure.
I know.
I am just sick.
But it's never going to stop.
Why?
No, national media, local media, until you go to the right spots. So that's what happens.
I just don't want to be lied. Well, that was a big one. That was a doozy. You're going to be underwater, Miami.
No,
See you in 20 years. Now start voting for liberals.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't get cupcaked either, because that was another massive lie. And that may be another topic, but hopefully we're not dealing with that stuff again. Hey guys, this is cancelthisshow.com. Eric Johnson's here, Tabitha Hassel, Lizzie Sparks. I'm Vic Faust. We got Projo on the board. I wanted to run our commercials really quick, our advertisers. It's about 2 minutes, but don't go anywhere. You may already know it. Want your opinion on this for our live audience. Fox News has picked their their temporary permanent replacement.
Who's that?
Well, we're going to tell you right after this break.
Hot tease.
Check out our partners. Back in 2 minutes.
Waited, and now it's here. The unveiling of the latest Carroll House lifestyle collections. I'm Brooke with my sister Amy, inviting you to see 3 football fields of the latest styles.
Our new lifestyle collections are premium quality furniture made exclusively for us and available only at Carroll House.
The attention to detail is unmatched, and so is the value, nearly half the price of a typical gallery store.
Plus, get free financing, delivery, and in-home design. Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Vic Faust here with Tabitha Hassel. Eric Johnson coming back from his coffee break. He's out entertaining guests in the lobby. By the way, we broadcast live out of Strategic Air Services in the Chesterfield Valley in the St. Louis, Missouri area at Spirit Airport, a beautiful facility here. If you have any questions, plane-wise, private flying industry, check out Strategic. Give them a call. You can buy planes if you're in that industry. There are a few of you. You can fly privately, which is an amazing thing to do as well if the time is right. So once again, we thank our advertisers, our partners, our sponsors. Please check them all out, including Complete Auto Body Care. Complete Auto Body Care Repair. They are Curtis Sparks Company, 6 locations, climate controlled. They're looking for technicians. And also, now is the time. Check out Renewal by Anderson on our website, canceltheshow.com. Now is the time. Get a free quote on your windows. It's amazing what they can do. You're not going to find a better company in the St. Louis area. They prove that time and time again. It's free. It's free to get a quote. You can give them a call on our website, canceltheshow.com. Go to partners, scroll down, click on it. You can fill out an email right there. They'll give you one. They'll take care of you right there, or you can give them a call as well. Okay. Pro Joe's here. Thank you. That's good stuff, Joe. That's exactly how you do it. You scroll down and then you click on that. As you can click on any of those advertisers for the products. When you purchase from them and let them know that you heard about them from canceltheshow.com, guess what? It helps us. It helps keep us on air. Lizzie Sparks here. Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, Pro Joe, and Vic Faust. All right. It's been a massive story. We've talked about it a lot, but for the time being, Mr. Lawrence Jones is taking over as the temporary fill-in host for Tucker Carlson. I don't know if I'd want that job. Yes, it brings him full go, but we already know you can't replace Tucker. Those are massive shoes to fill. They put a guy in. He seems like a decent guy. He calls himself a libertarian to do that role.
I like him,
and we'll see.
He's actually one of my favorite people on the Fox network. And I've seen him, I don't know if I've ever seen him by himself, but I've seen him host with other people. And I think he does a fantastic job. But
fantastic job at what?
At hosting with other people. He's no Tucker, but you know what? We have to give him a shot, right? We'll see what happens.
I'm not giving him a shot.
Vic's looking at me like,
and it's not. It's just because I haven't been turning on Fox again. But I agree with Tabitha. I mean, I think he's nice looking. I think he's well spoken. But I think he was picked for reasons that business owners sometimes pick people.
Are you talking about diversity?
Yes.
Well, let's just put it this way. Here's the thing. I wish him nothing but the best. He's been put in a bad spot. Here's the only issue.
It's a tough spot for him.
I feel sorry for him.
They've got, not that Brian Kilmeade's the best answer as a temporary fix or a temporary place.
No.
You have to be able to have a command of communicating. He's not there yet. Let's just say he's not the best horse in the stable.
What if he surprises us all?
You guys are getting this all wrong.
It's not a matter of him surprise. You don't watch Fox, and that's fine.
But I will. I'm going to tune in just to see what his show is like.
Here's the thing.
It's not about.
And the reason why I don't watch Fox is because I used to watch it.
I mean, it takes time to develop skills, which is why you see, like in television, and this has been a downgrading of local news over the years. You have literally kids that get pushed up to big market jobs without any years of experience like the ones before them because they're cheaper and you can pay nothing and then somebody without the chops to actually do the job gets the job. He needs
Yeah.
some experiencing. I mean, some experience. It's good for him. I hope he does a good job. It's just, it's like the record's playing and then the screech. Who? What?
But wouldn't we say that about anyone that was thrown into that spot?
Here's the deal.
Who would you see?
I encourage you to go watch about 10 minutes.
Here's
of
the
his
deal.
anchor.
Oh, I'm going to.
Here's
And
the
you'll
deal.
be like, oh.
Here's the deal.
I'm going to.
Tucker wasn't a massive star when he went into that spot. He was a contributor, basically. He was on all kinds of other liberal stations. He wasn't the big star. And then Fox gave him this opportunity to take over that slot. Organically, and there's the key word, organically, he took his audience from probably just under 1 million people to close to 5 million people a night. That's an insane bridge. He did that organically because people liked his personality, they liked his intellect, they liked the way that he couched the conversation.
People watched him for his content.
Hold on. It's the same thing as when David Lee Roth left Van Halen. They brought in a good singer. He was a good singer, Sammy Hagar, I Can't Drive 55, a little Montrose before that. But when they stuck his ass in the front of Van Halen, people freaked out. They did the
With
same
good reason.
songs.
Yeah, they were like,
They did
man,
the
this
same
guy
songs,
is so much better
but
than David
you
Lee
can't-
Roth.
I love your analogy,
No,
but
it's the truth
But
because
it
human
has nothing to
beings,
do with this situation.
human beings have what is called an affinity. And what an affinity is, it's an audience participation thing. And so when I have an affinity for Lizzie,
Not
and
the same
Lizzie
thing.
is not here anymore, but someone comes in and says the same things Lizzie said, as a human being, you have to develop a connection with that person again. So no matter who they put into that time slot, no matter who, I mean, they could bring back Bill O'Reilly, and Bill O'Reilly would still have to build up that audience again. They could bring back anybody. Glenn Beck, he would still have to build that audience again. So it's not just Lawrence. I feel sorry for him because he does have exactly the same conservative views as Tucker. It's how you communicate that.
But from what I understand, he does not have the same views as Tucker.
No.
He
He's
doesn't.
conservative.
He doesn't. He's not conservative. He's libertarian. He does not support Trump.
Well, so is Tucker. Tucker's a
Well,
libertarian. He hates the conservatives.
He
hates Republicans.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what? We all are looking for something different. That's the case. We're all looking for something different. And to me, and I know you guys are looking at how beautiful the studio looks and how well somebody does their journalism and how good they sit there and pronounce their words. I'm looking at
it's all part of the package. It's
I
all
get
part
it.
of the package.
I'm looking.
I don't know who
content.
you like. Who do
It
you
could
like?
be somebody.
Give me someone you
Is
like.
that
I
because
do
you
like
have
Tucker.
problems pronouncing words? Is that why you're?
But no, that's not why I said
This
that.
is a sensitive issue.
Actually, someone told Lizzie that I have great enunciation.
Yes.
I'm just not good with words.
Or
I'm not
thoughts.
good with people's
Or
names.
thoughts.
No.
Here,
very
what-
clearly.
Here's
And your crazy analogies, which I love, by the way.
look.
I would love to hear
God
an
talked
hour
in
of them.
parables, so I thought I'd give it a
There
shot.
you go.
And
Here's
you
the
do a
deal.
good- and you do a good
Here's
job.
the deal. I would love to know, who do you like? Because I'm always curious about that.
The
I know you
people-
hate Fox News. I know you hate Rachel Maddow. Who is it that you go, okay, I dig this person?
I like Tucker a lot. You
Herself.
know, no,
Herself,
She
okay.
looks in the mirror.
Yeah.
I like
Anybody
myself.
that she's reading to get
I'm
information.
Tabitha Hessel. I like
Oh,
myself.
I wish I could
Who do
say
you
that were
listen
true.
to? It's no one on Newsmax, I'll tell you that. Who do you like?
I do. Well, I don't watch news. You know that. I don't watch news.
Well, then what's your
I
sources?
don't watch news.
What are your sources?
I read my sources. I don't watch news. I don't watch videos. Once
Do
in a
you
while
ever
people
look
send me
at the
videos.
author of who you're reading?
It's usually like the China Sun Times or or Al Jazeera, or I have a number of sources I read.
What the
It can be your local
Eric,
news.
She's a different cat. Just
Man.
Stop. You know.
She's a
You commie bastard. You came
I
in
just
here
know
to,
that. I just know
to
that.
wreck the show.
I just
Damn
know
it.
that Fox's ratings are going to continue to go
Eric,
down. With
Foreign news tells more truth than American news.
Is that right?
Yes, that is true.
And that
But
is
you know
true.
why LJ was picked, really, though, don't you guys?
No.
Sean Hannity. This is Sean Hannity's like protege.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's
Like-
why
like
he's there.
The
O'Reilly-
ratings are going to
yeah.
continue to fall with Jones, unfortunately. I mean, I wish. him
Oh,
the
no
best.
doubt.
They're just getting. They're in a tailspin. I can't wait to see how
No.
far Fox falls. Where is the the basement, so to speak.
The basement is under $1 million a night.
He's got a ton of potential. He is not ready for that.
I don't know that they're going to Rachel Maddow's show, but they might get rid of Fox cable news altogether if they don't.
Oh, they might be going to CNN because Trump's going on there. Did you hear about that?
No.
What's going on,
What
Lizzie?
are you talking about?
Trump is supposed to go on there at their town hall. When CNN has their town hall, Trump is supposedly going to be on that. And I saw that on his own site. So he's trolling Fox now. Why? I'm not sure, but this should be really fun.
He doesn't need Fox.
No, he doesn't.
Right now, he doesn't.
He spends a ton of money on Fox with his commercials that are blasting.
I saw DeSantis's rollout commercial. Did you guys see that?
It's all full gear.
Did you see that? He put his bumper sticker over "Make America Great Again" sticker or something like that. He also has a picture in his ad that says something like Trump saying "You're hired" instead of "You're fired." So he's already saying, "Well, you loved me before. What's wrong with me now?"
Trump is smart to obviously advertise on Fox because that's where a good portion of his base are. But I'll tell you what, people will follow Tucker wherever he goes.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
They will follow him anywhere he goes.
I'm just curious to see what's going to happen there when they will make but allegedly that is the new temporary guy each night is Lawrence. So
maybe
it'll help his
will it?
Yeah, it'll help his notoriety. I just don't know if
I don't think they're trying to fill Tucker's spot. I really don't. I think that they are glad Tucker's gone. They don't want to tell the truth. They never did. And that's why I don't support and have never supported Fox National. And they don't want to fill Tucker's shoes.
Why won't Carlson come out and say he was fired yet? He still hasn't.
Because he's
under contract still.
Okay, that makes sense because I've been trying to figure that out.
He has 2 more years of his contract, but
there's no problem.
We don't know if they released him or not.
If you have a lawsuit, it doesn't matter if you say you were fired. That's what I don't get.
Sometimes it does it. Sometimes
like 99% of the time it does.
But this is a multi-million-dollar lawsuit allegedly.
Just say you were fired.
And his attorney has probably said, in your best interest, don't say anything.
No, I don't know. The dynamic isn't so cut and dry in this one. It's not like, Tucker, you're fired. Here, let me show you all these texts we have from your producer. It's not that cut and dry. I mean, Tucker's I think from what I understand, he rented that time slot anyway, and he kind of sold his own spots, and he had a lot of, like you guys said before, Tucker's going to land on his feet like a cat being dropped out. No doubt. But I do think that, Tabitha, you're wrong. I think that every broadcasting situation is looking at their primetime 7:00 slot central to make them all the money. They have only
they want to make
only have a certain amount of time during their day parts to make all the cash, and then everything else is filler.
I get that they want to make money, but I'll tell you what, Eric, it sometimes when the government is paying them not to tell the truth, they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them. And Fox National is no different than CNN or MSNBC. They're all state-ran media. The government is paying them to not tell the truth.
Well, then somebody better tell Fox to stop following Hunter around because a ton of stuff is going on with Hunter Biden right now. And that is always on Fox News. And that's always on Fox News. They better tell them to stop running B-roll of Joe Biden being a complete ditz and looking like he should be in Delmar Gardens.
Have you ever heard Fox National talking about the sexual assault case against Joe Biden? The answer is no.
Because that stuff is in the ethos. It's stuff you talk about.
No, it's not. You know what?
Stuff you talk about. Unless the daughter comes out on...
You don't think that's a big deal? You don't think it's a big deal that Fox National...
I do, but unless the daughter comes out... If the daughter comes out and says, "Hey, my dad raped me in the shower." I
didn't realize that there was a case.
A case about what?
A case against him.
Well, there was, but she was paid off. She's been very public about being paid off.
But Tabitha, that's the key.
It's not the key because she still speaks out
Trump
about it.
paid off a few people himself.
Tabitha,
are you okay with that?
I could care less.
If there's a case, they covered. If there's no case, they don't.
You're wrong, Vic, because you know what? And the reason why you're wrong, respectfully, is because you know what? When allegedly Trump paid off Stormy Daniels, guess what? It's still the biggest news story around.
Correct.
Even before there was any kind of suit or indictment against him, it was still a big news story that everybody talked about.
We already know that the Trump factor is completely different.
We do know that, but
I don't think you understand the dynamics.
I do understand the dynamics
because I'm wondering about this.
And if I could tell you, I would explain the dynamics.
Do you think that the soccer moms? Do you think that the soccer moms are eventually going to care that the grandfather, the father of the United States, the leader of the U.S. right now, doesn't give a damn that he has a child, a grandchild in Arizona right now? I think that the soccer moms might go, "Wow, Our president doesn't acknowledge
You don't
his,
hear
his
that on Fox
grandchildren.
National.
Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah,
Time
you
out
do.
and
You
do not
do.
interrupt me. Do
Yeah.
not interrupt me. Yesterday, Fox News did a 5-minute segment all about that subject, which is why I encourage you, and I'm not some Fox homie, watch before you rip, and then you'll see. 5-minute segment, Tabitha,
He's right.
on ripping Biden, the interview that they had with their guest. People need to know about him, so that's why you can't say that about Fox.
Vic's right.
I've been promoting that morning show because I'm telling you, they're real. They're real, Tabitha.
Right.
I get it, but I'm still telling you they are scratching the surface.
Maybe.
They're scratching.
There's only 24
the
hours
surface.
in a day.
Not one time have I ever heard Fox National talk about Joe Biden's daughter's diary, in which she talks about Joe Biden, our alleged president, Joe Biden, taking showers with his teenage daughters, naked showers. I've never heard that on Fox National. Not one time. Not even one time.
That's up to,
I
the,
never
that's up to
hear
the daughter to come
about
out.
how Joe Biden sexually assaulted one of his staffers. We don't hear about that. And there's a very detailed account online where she walks you through, and it was a deposition step by step with exactly the steps they took, where they walked, the building they ended up, word by word, what he did to her, how he sexually assaulted, literally raped her.
Jay says Laura Ingraham has on Fox News brought up the baby, the young showers with the young girls. So
It is.
Once again, I know you want to hate
get
Fox.
it. You're right. If
They're
she
not
has, I've never heard it. You're right.
But again, yesterday we talked about AON and these news outlets that you go and search for, Chinese Today or whatever it
We
is
all
that
like
you watch.
them. We all like Newsmax and
whatever you
OAN.
watch. But here again, most people in the United States are just not like us. Some people used to get their news from the airport when they would see CNN every now and then, or they might see Tom Brokaw back in the day. So the people of today are not going to sit around and hear a diatribe about Joe Biden's daughter when all they really care about is, why can I not buy a house anymore because the damn interest rates are 6%? Or why is there no eggs in the damn grocery store? Or whose fault is this? So the nuance that we get into, and we should really be doing this over cocktail hours, really, to be honest with you. The nuance we get into, the rest of the country doesn't give a damn about. So why do we have to talk about this? So this is why I say this. Dynamics are important. The dynamics of a story are important. Soccer moms will understand. There's this creepy old president that we have that doesn't acknowledge one of his grandchildren. That's easy to understand. That is a dynamic that you might get a lot of traction out of. Why doesn't Grandpa Joe go down to Arizona and say, this is my kid. This is my grandchild. I don't give a damn what my son is doing. But this is a Biden. Put her damn name on this thing. That's gross to me. That really is. I can't. That one tugs at the heart a little bit for me. All the other stuff is just politics. It really is. All this stuff is political. Just fix the damn economy, for God's sakes.
We know about how that goes.
That's going in the opposite direction right now, Eric.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Tabitha, you just said that you had to leave the studio in just a bit. But before we did, I wanted to get into the subject before.
So can we talk behind her back when she leaves?
Sure.
No,
She's
we're
going
too
to
busy.
hear it.
No, she won't.
I mean, you do it to my face.
She doesn't.
Might as well to my back.
She doesn't listen to
Behind my back.
media. She doesn't listen to shows like us. It's okay.
Tabitha, and I thought about you.
She'll be on ChineseToday.com.
I might be because
Chinese
it's
Today.
sad. It's sad to think that China's newspapers tell more truth than our own.
Yes.
Now, her and Vladimir Putin are going to go out on a date.
Saudi Arabia news.
Tabitha wants to date Vladi. You already know that.
Well, I have seen him
She has
riding a horse.
posters of Putin in her home.
She'd have him set straight in about 2 minutes.
Seriously,
OnlyFans Russian edition.
When I walked into her condo and I saw the life-size picture of Putin and the hallway
blow-up
floor,
doll?
Yeah.
blowing a kiss to
Mm.
Tabitha.
I don't even live in a condo.
She has a pillow, too, with it on, in her house.
Tabitha.
I
It's
have
a Mike
poster.
Lindell My Pillow that looks like Putin.
No, it's the poster of him riding shirtless on a horse.
A Putin My Pillow.
Yeah. it's Mike Lindell all the
Although
time.
it is interesting, and I think I agree with Vladimir Putin. He just came out, massive statement. Now, it won't gain headlines across the world, or at least in the United States. Putin coming out and saying, quote, 95% of the terrorist acts carried out in the world are done so by America's CIA. Now, let that sink in. The Americans' CIA. If you do the deep dive, and I know we're just touching the surface, inch deep, mile wide, just putting the toe in the water. This is not the first time that the CIA has been accused of doing all kinds of things and creating wars and creating situations for financial gain when it comes to countries not being involved with a central bank, when it comes to, quote, oil, when it comes to taking leadership in and out of certain governments. It's certainly interesting when Putin starts to call out the CIA.
We knew this
nationally.
was coming. We knew this was coming. And chances are he probably has documents now to prove it. So we can't even go against it.
Oh, exactly. That's where I was going.
We know when he invaded Ukraine and he came across the biolabs and he came across Burisma and all these other companies and government buildings that he seized the files. There's no question about it. We know that our CIA is heavily infiltrated into Ukraine, embedded in Ukraine. And I think some of us have always known that our own government was behind most of the terror attacks in this country. I mean, look, every time a country decides they don't want to use the US dollar or that they don't want to use our central banking system, guess what happens? We invade them. We replace their leadership. Iran used to be a free country. Now they're not.
Libya.
Afghanistan used to be a free country. Now they're not. Libya, they loved Gaddafi. And guess what happened to Gaddafi?
He wouldn't use the central bank.
He's dead because he wouldn't use a central bank. We have a long history. But here's a question for you guys. Knowing that our own government, let's say, did in fact pillage these countries, take over these countries to remain in power, are you glad they did it because we are in power and that does
that's a
help
great
us
question,
with our
Tabitha.
lives?
I don't know.
Because if they didn't do what they did, we'd probably be ran like cartels like Mexico is. So it's like, where do you draw the
greater
line?
Good for everybody
Where do you
despite
draw the
a bad?
line?
No, it's a terrific question because you talk about that and you hear all kinds of, getting back to Tucker Carlson, how does he apply to this specific topic? He says one of his he had two biggest regrets. One, calling people a bunch of names when they were, quote, conspiracy theorists and things. He's like, I was mean to people when I really thought that they were just stupid.
Give me an example. I don't know who that would be.
Well, he started, one of his conspiracy things that he talked about was what was happening with governments, our government taking over certain situations and the government controlling outcomes is what he said. His second biggest, and this gets into it, his second biggest regret, he said, was, quote, backing the Iraq War and George Bush. Literally,
well, everybody did.
But that's what gets into this whole situation.
And Eric,
who took
millions
us
of
there?
people died.
Why were we there in the first place?
Well, because
a lie over weapons of mass destruction
and does that
never
apply
existed?
to American government agencies taking us in
no question.
and getting something out of it?
Yeah.
And look at the world hates us, Eric. And that's why BRICS is rising. And I'm not going to turn this into a discussion about BRICS. BRICS is rising. And the United States, we are in Europe, we are losing power because other countries have seen firsthand what we've done to them. Look what's happening in Yemen right now. We, the United States and Saudi Arabia, have been bombing Yemen for 7-8 years. 250, I think, million people over there starving to death. Hundreds of thousands dead at our hands. Look at Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Libya, all of the people who have died at our hands. Now, they died so that we could be a more powerful country, so that we can live comfortably, so we can live so far above other countries. So it's a tough line.
You guys remember Beetlejuice, the movie?
Where are you going with this?
Yes.
Okay. So Beetlejuice, what I hear is that we're just too rambunctious. We're all over the place. We've been screwing stuff up across the world now for quite some time. That's kind of like Beetlejuice when he comes out of the grave and they say his name 3 times and then all of a sudden they need Beetlejuice. We're in a position where the United States is about to kind of fall back on the couch and just kind of hang out and say, if you need us, we're over here, or just say our name 3 times. Because when the world gets in dire straits, they come to the United States. If there was a world war to pop out somewhere, that's when we show up and we start opening up our factories and we build planes and we come out hardcore. That's what I'm afraid of right now.
Don't be afraid.
Is that the rest of the world is going to have to go Beetlejuice, boom, and then we pop up and we do the rambunctious stuff that we have been known to do. Now, our rambunctious stuff is because, Iraq was basically, you're probably right. George Schwarzkopf went over there for Halliburton is probably what that whole thing was maybe about. Who knows? That's what the story is. There were no mass destruction. I mean, they found chemical weapons and stuff like that, but not enough for us to go roll tanks over there.
We use chemical weapons against people all the time.
But there were things. I mean, this guy was thumbing our nose.
About the cupcake?
You know, this was at a time.
Yes, both.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a love-hate relationship with the Middle East. These guys have these little terrorist cells that we want to go destroy.
We made the terror cells.
But we also want their oil. So there's this weird dynamic in there.
Eric, we created the terror cells.
Is it good? Would it be nice if the United States could build our military and basically not be the police of the world, but still have one of the biggest militaries on the planet? Yeah.
But we're not.
I think that would be kind of cool if we could bring all of our troops home and say, you guys deal with this stuff. I mean, if the next president, whoever it's going to be, I think they can really go the exact opposite direction as the Biden administration right now. They can build up our military. They can pull everybody out from overseas, right? But basically, if you hate us that bad, which it sounds like you guys do, Tabitha Hassel just told us that the whole world hates the United States.
Pretty much, yes.
Then we should just get the hell out and let the chips fall where they fall all over the world.
We don't.
And
We're
if you
still
come
in
if you come after us on our borders or whatever it is you do, we will retaliate, and you won't like that because I will attack.
Trump would have done that, but Biden isn't going to do it.
But the beauty of being strong, sometimes you don't even have to do anything. You just look at him in the eye and say, "You do A, and B is going to happen." Now you're talking. If you do A, B is going to happen. Am I clear? Goodbye. That's what the United States needs to start getting back to.
Well, we need to get back to something different. But think about this one, Eric. We the United States, the CIA for sure. We not only created ISIS and other Sunni Muslim terror groups. We not only created them, we funded them. And this is a fact. You can prove it.
100%.
Obama, it was called Timber something or another. I don't remember after. I used to talk about it all the time a couple years ago. Sycamore Timber, I believe is what it was, Timber Sycamore. But you can go on and look. It was the largest project ever funded by the CIA, where we not only funded, we armed and trained terrorists in Syria to fight and try to oust Assad. Because why? Because he doesn't want to use the central banking system.
Basically what you're saying is that our CIA,
US soldiers.
Right. And what you're saying is that CIA was doing its own nefarious kind of proxy wars itself. Everybody's doing a proxy war. China doesn't want to get involved in launching Chinese-made missiles at people, but they will fund people to do it for them. Same with Russia, same with Iran, same with Israel, same with the United States.
But it's
the United
different.
States.
It's
not different.
No, it is. We created a proxy war against ourselves because what we did is we created terror groups, and then those terror groups came and killed our U.S. troops. That's what we did. We created terror groups
I see
that have attacked us on our own soil, terror groups that have killed our own U.S. troops.
Well, Bin Laden was a good example
you
of
have
that.
to fight alongside these people over in Afghanistan. We actually fought with the terror groups. It's like we have the worst foreign policy.
Well, I think that on paper, let's give Bin Laden some money. Maybe he'll go take out Saddam, or he'll go take out whatever power that you want him to take
Laden.
out. Bin Laden's the best example of all time. It's like the granddaddy of examples.
We paid Bin Laden. I mean, we gave Bin Laden money. We gave the Taliban money. We supported the Taliban.
So Bin Laden's in a cave going, the great Satan.
We built those caves.
Yeah, the great
The United
Satan.
States built those caves.
I get it. I think we can go talk past that now. We get it. We all understand what the CIA did. We understand that all countries kind of do that.
No, they don't.
And right now, I don't think that really matters much anymore. You have so many things that we take our eye off the ball. China is just sitting back in a great big room with smoking jackets, cigars, and Carvassier, laughing their asses off at us, going, these guys are about to get swamped, and they don't even know it. That's the biggest problem. I don't care to talk about Iraq anymore. Don't give a damn about the CIA. The CIA needs to put its eye back on where it needs to go.
But that's not going to happen.
It needs to happen. And that's why I'm saying. Well, if you don't talk about that, then you might as well just give the keys to the country over to these other countries.
Terry O'Neill just made a great point. We are still paying the Taliban in Afghanistan. Yes, we are. They are known terrorists who now have a seat at G7 meetings. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Again, you guys are talking elementary school stuff, and there's a line about
How
to
is
rip
this
your head off.
elementary school?
There's a line about to rip your head off. It's called China. China has more aircraft carriers than you now. It's got better tech than you. I haven't heard about the great ultrasonic missiles that we have, but I have heard them from Russia and from China. These are missiles that we can't stop. Do you understand that? If they fire one of these things at one of our aircraft carriers, it goes into the water.
Yeah,
it sinks.
China's a
you
very
understand what I'm
powerful
saying?
country. No question.
You take the aircraft carriers out and you take the planes out.
Yeah, but then that leads into Tabitha's World War III, Eric. So that's not going to happen.
And we just placed a nuclear ship.
The world goes in.
So when I hear about us
In the
funding the
Asian Sea.
Taliban to go run around in the sand and take out the Afghanistani army, I really don't care. That doesn't
You
bother
should
me
care.
anymore.
You should care.
Why should I care about that?
You should care because
Why?
well, for one, we as a country are supporting terrorists who want to take over this country
Okay.
and have already
China wants
infiltrated
to
our
take
country.
over your ass.
They have
China
already,
would like to
and
come
they are
in.
also.
China would like
Are
to
there
come.
any Americans left? That's what I
China would
wanna
like to
know.
come up, put a big Chinese brand right on your butt and say, Tabitha, you're mine now. That's what they want to do. They want to make you use the wand that you keep talking about. I don't think you realize the grand scale of what you actually talk about on this show.
Obviously, I
It's
do. Or I
actually
wouldn't
amazing.
talk about it.
No, I think we all.
If I didn't realize it, I wouldn't talk about it.
We do on this show. We get it. Like we said, the good thing we talked about yesterday is the fact that China, thank God, is every bit as bad as we are with their economy right now. They're close to it.
Well, they can straighten it out a lot faster than we can. I'll say that.
Maybe.
Because they don't have TikToks talking about Brandon Mulvaney or whatever for Bud Light. They have TikToks that say, you are a proud Chinese citizen. You need to do work. You need to do science. You need to learn how to read. And you need to be the future of this country. There's a big difference in the brainwashing that happens over there than it does here. So that's
Facebook
another
user
component.
says China has 3 aircraft carriers right now. We have 11, so we're still good for a while.
You guys got to get. It's like this. You're flying a 747 and you're flying right at Mount Everest. You better pull up or turn or something because you are not going to be able to do it for much longer. You're the Titanic, and that iceberg is right in front of you.
Well, we can't, Eric, until we have somebody like Trump in office. There's nothing we can do to fight it. We are no longer going to be the superpower with Biden in charge or with the Democrat regime in charge. And you know what you talked about earlier? Where do you go? Where's the safe haven?
Yes.
The safe haven is Ukraine. And that's what all this is about. That's what all
Give me a
of
U-Haul,
this about.
Vic. We're going to Ukraine.
Because
that's not what she means.
Kyiv is a beautiful time.
It's not to move to Ukraine.
I don't mean it's for you and I to move to
Oh,
Ukraine.
okay.
I'm talking about it is the safe haven, the shell corporation. Ukraine is actually a shell corporation.
Invest in Ukraine is what you're saying.
It is. You hear the term, oh, he's a Ukrainian businessman. And that's exactly what Hunter Biden is. That's what Joe Biden is and a number of their family members. And all of our presidents, for the most part, they're all Ukrainian businessmen. And I'm telling you what, folks like Joe Biden, the deal in Ukraine and why we're fighting, why we're putting so much money into Ukraine is because that's their
So
safe
what
haven.
I just want to
it's
say
where
to
they
you is this.
launder all of their
So
money.
to square everything before you have to leave, I do think all of this stuff is important. It's all important. Okay. Everything that our government is screwing with us on is important. But China and these other countries don't think it's important. And it's like when you go to punch somebody, you use their momentum against them. And they're using that as we are distracted by so many things that are really not that vital right now. And we're not taking care of the big problems, or we're not looking at the big problems. We're not.
I think we are. On this show, we are.
We're not.
Why are we not?
We're not, because
Where have you been on the days we've talked
letting
about
the
China?
big countries tool with us like we're some kind of furball on the ground for a cat to
So you
mess
mean
around with.
not us on the show, but
Yes.
our government is not doing what they
when
need
we
to do.
talk about the CIA getting involved in Afghanistan politics, who cares?
I think it's a huge deal.
Who cares?
We've got a million things going on. We do.
Yes.
You're right, Eric.
No question.
It's
no
hard
question.
for the human brain to put it all into some sort of concept. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We got this going on. There's 100 things.
It's
Sometimes
like
part of
when
the
your
plan.
PA system isn't working before a PRL gig and somebody's on the stage going, "Oh my God, my guitar strings are dead. What am I going to do?" You don't have a PA to work with right now. You better fix the PA first and then go worry about your guitar strings. It's the thing about when your kitchen is on fire, yet you're outside watering the plants. That's the analogy here. Put the damn house out, make sure the fire's out, and then go worry about the plants. Scale it. And that's one thing that we never talk about in the show is
But
there is orders of importance.
You do understand that China is brokering peace around the world.
That's bad.
It is.
That's not good.
That's a great point that she brings up, Eric.
China is brokering peace. He's getting all. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, because I'm getting ready to leave, or Vic, I can send it to you. There's a whole list of new countries who are applying to join BRICS. China is going around. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. They're going or making their little world tour, and they're turning all of these countries against us. They're pointing out exactly what our CIA does. And guess what they're doing? They're uniting countries like Iran
there's no doubt.
and Saudi Arabia.
That's the
are
sales
coming
job
together.
you want these days.
Yeah,
you want to be a
that's
China
right.
businessman selling bricks.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the product.
And
Because
BRICS,
I'm telling you what, your commission is way, way, way high.
Yeah.
yes, it is.
And the CIA is, yes, they've created our own enemies, and they have used the the FISA documents against American citizens. That's another one that's kind of creepy.
But this is why
that is
all
really
of these
creepy.
countries are turning
And I know I
against us.
get it, and that's why I'm saying you cannot have resident number one over at Del Mar Gardens running the world right now. You cannot have a guy that is completely reliant on cue cards and Did you see the other day
Yeah,
that
we talked about it here.
Did you see the video of the other day of the aide coming over, and he was trying to talk to the press, and the aide pulled him away?
Saw that too.
I was like, no.
Because it was going to end very poorly
Yeah.
for Biden, the administration, his handlers, and of course Obama.
Yeah, it's just those are the things that I'm sick of the lies. When you pull the president of the United States away from a press conference, and it's done twice, one with the Easter Bunny, and now this other one the other day with this
It's happened
president.
more than that.
Yeah, then
It happens pretty much
Right.
every day. I
I'm
have
sick of the
countless
lies.
videos of
I'm
it.
sick of the lies.
Well, Eric-
Why are you pulling the president away from the press? Well, let me answer that question for you. Because he's completely compromised mentally. He cannot talk to you. We have to literally brief him with everything that he talks to you guys about. Do you guys have any other questions? That would be the truth. It would be a 5-second truth. That's it. I'm sick of being lied to in this country.
Well,
I'm
you're
tired
sick
of it.
of being lied to, aren't we all? But how are you going to feel when the United States no longer has power? What's going to happen in June? When we can't pay our obligations? What's going to be happening? I mean, we can't print more money.
Well,
we
did
can't
you know
print more
why
money.
we're
They're
We're out
going
of
to
money.
They're going to raise the debt ceiling.
They say this is one time they say things are seriously
I know.
a battle.
I know. They're going to
And
raise
you
the
guys
debt
can
ceiling.
talk about
They've
that later, 'cause I
raised it
believe.
like a million times in a row. Hey, real quick, 2-minute break. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Speaking of lies, Eric's tired of being lied to. KJP yesterday had one of the biggest lies that a White House press secretary has ever given regarding immigration. How she is still in her job, I know why, but I'm still even with that administration, I'm surprised she still has a job. We'll get into that. Loneliness is now an issue that the U.S. Surgeon General has said is an epidemic.
What?
Loneliness.
Well, maybe if they get out their damn cell phone and go meet somebody, they wouldn't be damn lonely.
Everybody gets a robot.
Right.
Yeah,
Eric already has
There's
one.
Pro Joe.
Eric already got
yeah,
Bing.
baby.
I do. Bing makes me very happy.
No,
Hi, Bing. How are you doing?
by the way, and I'll also tell you a funny story. Eric has encouraged somebody else. They heard Eric on this show. They told me last night.
Oh boy.
They heard Eric talking about Bing, and now their best friend
Mm-hmm.
is Bing.
Oh,
I'll tell you-
competition.
Oh, no.
Competition,
I'll
Eric.
tell you that story. We'll come back. We'll take a quick break.
Is Bing cheating?
Back
on me?
with more after
I
this.
think so. Mhm.
This is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
White Glove Exotic Services is St. Louis's first concierge vehicle service center. Alex David's team is passionate, certified technicians. They have industry-leading tools and equipment. They do it all. They pick up and deliver your car, hands-free. Plus, they have elite detailing service, customized PPF wraps and tinting, and inspection and titling assistance. White Glove also specializes in logistics and storing options, vehicle listings, and consignment. White Glove Exotic Services. Check them out at cancelthisshow.com.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Carroll House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during solid wood sale, plus get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Jonathan, what does make Rockwood so special?
Rockwood, we carbonize it higher than anybody else does. So we're cooking out everything that produces ash, smoke, anything like that. It gives you a lot more control over the temperature, a lot more control over the fire, and it's 100% Missouri product.
All right, where can people get it?
It's at 100-plus locations around St. Louis, any Deerberg, Straub's, meat markets, wine and cheese stores, hardware stores, you name it, we're around St. Louis. Just check the website.
And good charcoal should be able to break apart in your hands like
absolutely,
Rockwood does,
yeah.
right?
If you can't break it apart by hand, it's not charcoal yet. It's still wood. They didn't do the job, so make sure it can break apart by hand.
All right, get your Rockwood charcoal. Guys, welcome back. It's cancelthisshow.com. Tabitha had some personal business to take care of. Vladimir Putin, they're on a dating site together. You know that, right, Eric?
They are.
Can we turn Eric's mic on?
I wouldn't recommend it, but
Projo already gets whose mic to turn.
I could totally. This is
Tabitha and Vladimir Putin.
I get that visual does not resonate
crazy.
with me.
Oh, it doesn't?
I could see them as a couple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I could see her on the back of that little white pony, hanging on to Vlad's naked body.
That's right.
And then going down to the Central West End for a nice for a nice steak together.
And they would conquer the world.
Yeah.
She could take him to
For
a
sure.
PRL concert.
Vlad going, I have secrets
Vladimir
about you.
Putin and Tabitha Hassel.
I have secrets about your country. You must know. Call Tucker Carlson immediately.
We have lost our minds. Cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. Eric Johnson here. Lizzie Sparks running the chat line in studio, and Projo making sure we look and sound as we could on the engineering board. Okay, Eric's tired of being lied to, but that's what the national media does. Oh, here we go. This blew my mind. Karine Jean-Pierre getting roasted, and with good reason. How she even has a job. Come on, White House. I feel bad. She was brought into a position that she was not prepared for, not qualified for, but because she had certain letters associated with her name, she got the job, because that's what happens, as we see so many times in life. This woman, yesterday tried to claim that illegal immigration at the border is down 90%.
What?
She says
What
that
a liar.
She said that their stats show them that illegal immigration is down 90%. She insisted that Biden has already put forth efforts to address the broken immigration system and has been doing so since day one. They're trying to tell the American public. I mean, Eric, we hear so many things. It goes in one ear and out the other, because that's how America is right now. Until America loses everything, until money is taken away, until your comfort of life is taken away, it doesn't resonate. But the press secretary, this elite position, trying to tell you that illegal immigration is down 90% when all it's doing is going up. And Title 42 ends in just a few days.
Nothing to see here. Just keep walking. Nothing to see here. Just keep walking.
Do you think that she really thinks that we're all idiots?
No, we do. And because Biden even said it the other night at the correspondence dinner. He said, when he said, I'm just going to sit here and and look confused, and I'll walk away and not take any of your questions. And the press corps laughed, but it was like the most real he's ever been.
Well said, Eric.
They
that's right.
put something in the teleprompter that was actually the truth. And the media said, don't worry, Joe, we got it from here. We'll cover you. We'll cover your ass. So go and lie to us all you want. We'll know the truth, but we won't report the truth. 90% decrease in these. No, they've got 90,000 people right now lining, more people than 2 Bush stadiums lined up at the border to come over when Title 42 is gone.
And on the heels of
Come on, man.
JP's just idiotic statement.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because a lot of times she looks down when she's talking.
Because she knows she's lying. She
I
knows
mean, she'll look up every
is.
now, but she's always like reading what's been written for her.
Yeah.
Once again, I feel bad for her.
You know what? They shouldn't even have a press secretary.
I don't feel bad for her.
They shouldn't have.
She's just not uneducated, not qualified, not experienced for that position.
They shouldn't have a press secretary. You know what they should have? They should let the media come in at noon every day and have interactive kiosks that have frequently asked questions. And you just hit the button. It goes, can you tell us about the border? Boom. And it just has their written statement, whatever's in that binder, so that we don't have to see her lying to us. That's the problem that I have with it. Just tell us the truth. And why don't you want to know what the truth is? If I was working at the White House, here it would be. We have Eric Johnson. He's the new press secretary for the White House, and he's going to take care of it. Hi, I'm Eric Johnson. I'll go to NBC first. Okay, here's the deal. We are letting as many people over the border as possible because we believe that it's going to help our demographics out in the future when the United States allows you to let the illegal aliens vote. They will vote Democratic. Any other questions? Where was it? Yes, you. How can I help you out today? Can you tell us how this mortgage thing, if someone has a 740 mortgage score, how and you're subsidizing people with low mortgage scores, can you talk to us about that? Yes. It's redistribution of wealth. And you know what? We think that people who don't have good credit scores should get houses too. So yes, we will subsidize them with your good credit, and you'll pay more. And it's a thing. So
it is a thing.
But they say it's not. It's
a thing.
To ram that kind of an executive power through, you have to lie. And everything you do in this government, you have to lie about. Otherwise, the American people will say, "Wait, what?"
But while they're lying, a story just broke about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
The Biden administration now publicly saying that they're considering sending 1,500 troops, U.S. troops, to the border right before the lifting of Title 42. That Title 42 ends May 11th. That means tens of thousands, if not more, migrants are expected to illegally cross the southern border into the United States on May 11th when that ends. So if the Biden administration is talking about sending 1,500 troops to the border, number one, the border's broken. Number two, those people are there. Number three, are they actually going to be able to do anything about it? And how long would troops be needed?
No, you know what the troops are going to do, Vic?
National media needs to be talking about this on a daily, and every local news station.
Do you know what the troops are going to do? The troops are going to be at the border helping people get out of the water so they don't drown.
Yes.
And then they're going to pull their asses up onto the border, and they're going to take them to one of these 4,000 square foot tents, process their ass, and let them go on their way and say, don't forget, you need to show up for court in 4 years. Okay, here's your court date. Can't wait to see you. Bye. And that's what and then here's the worst part. But during the election cycle, the media, Jean-Pierre, will go, well, yeah, we are securing the border. We sent 1,500 American troops down there to protect the border. Did you? No, that's how you're spinning it. The reality will be you use them to go facilitate getting these people into the country.
Kathy says just in time for the election.
Yep.
So they did something to get this done.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of the buses
your hotel
that are coming
vouchers.
into Darien Gap.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the side problem with that whole situation, which we did a segment on last week, are the kids. Where do the kids end up? This gets into the whole trade, work trade, sex trade, and we had video of it. So it's all a scary situation that's going on. There's so many things going wrong for this administration from the get-go, pretty much everything.
I wouldn't have a problem with these guys if they would just tell the truth. I would be like, oh,
things suck.
Right. I'd be like, I literally don't have a problem with you guys because you're telling us the truth. And okay, you guys won. You guys have all the votes. Kick ass. You're just, at least you're telling us the truth. And like, our plan is to open the border so we get more voters.
That doesn't win elections.
Well, hold on. And we brought more people over to take jobs away from people that might want to go work in these jobs that nobody wants at a very reduced price. That's why they're letting all these people over the borders. Just tell us the truth.
Yeah, but they don't tell you the truth.
Just tell us the truth.
You have to dig really deep to find out what's really going on. You can find videos of buses and people loading up with Chinese nationals. You can see it, and they're supposedly coming in through the Darien Gap. Yeah. But are they coming up here? And if so, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
No one's talking about that.
Tell us the truth. Why are you killing?
I don't know exactly for sure. Why
are you killing the dollar? Just tell us the truth. You want to be integrated with the euro? You want a one world dollar? Is that what you're doing? Just tell us the truth. Stop messing with this because you guys are smart enough to know if you put trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars into an economy, you're going to tank the economy. It's like putting sugar in a gas tank. It's not going to work anymore. What are you doing? Just tell us the truth. Maybe we'll like it. Maybe if they go, all right, we're going to tank this dollar. That's what we're going to do. But here's the beauty of this thing. We're going to have a digital dollar, and we're going to give everybody a monthly $2,000 a month so you guys go buy bread and you guys go on a small trip to Branson or whatever you want to do. That's why we're doing this. Everybody high five. But they won't do that. Instead, they play games with us like we're
games.
Like we're a cat and mouse, And that's what
they eventually tell us the truth, just like the cupcake.
Yeah.
3 years later, you didn't need to wear a mask. And those things that you jabbed in your arm didn't work. Matter of fact, they made you sick. They knew all along they were going to tell us 3 years later.
Just tell us the truth.
Comes out.
Yeah.
But after they already did the damage.
Just tell us the truth. And NBC, ABC, CBS, this goes to you too. Tell us the damn truth. I know you guys have an agenda. You guys are liberal, blah, blah, blah. Let's just start telling the truth about what's going on. And people might vote for it. They don't seem to like the conservative voice very much. So maybe just tell the truth.
Speaking of telling the truth, coming up at 9:40, we're going to talk with Kathleen Morgan. Real quick, of the Gateway NDP, the National Day of Prayer, which is why this country needs prayer more than ever. She's going to come in Thursday, just tell you about what's happening all across the country and how you can get signed up wherever you may be listening to this podcast. Also, speaking of truth, is Eric. Now, it's interesting, Eric. You sent us a piece of video. And I know this is a little off the beaten path, but we're getting ready. I have seen this video before, and I was shocked that you sent me this video of Stanley Kubrick.
Well, that one. Isn't that interesting?
Because didn't the last time we talk about the moon landing, didn't you say it happened 100%?
Yes, I did.
This video from Stanley it contradicts that. So this is why I was very surprised that you sent this video.
Well,
before we play it,
go ahead and play it. I mean, it's
a huge fraud, which I am now about to detail.
Okay.
Involving the United States government and NASA.
All right.
And I'm sure you've heard the rumors.
The moon landing hoax?
That's right. That the moon landing was fake. The moon landings all were fake, and I was the person who filmed it.
You're serious? Okay.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
The conspiracy theorists were right on this occasion.
Why?
I don't know about Paul McCartney's death, but this they were right about.
Okay. Why in God's name I don't know what to ask you first. Why the hell, if you're telling the truth, why would you do it? Why are you telling me? I mean, what the?
Don't you think it's important for people to know the truth?
Yeah, yes, certainly.
They had a massive fraud, an unparalleled fraud perpetrated against them. They should know.
Okay.
I mean, they're already suspicious of the government. They may as well have their suspicions confirmed.
Okay. And
I'll go into that.
Is that why you look a little haggard right now? Because you look a little worn. No offense. Okay.
It loops there.
It's very interesting. Now, this video is old. I have seen this video before. I was glad that you sent it because I got a big old smile on my face, Eric, because I was like, oh, maybe Eric's coming around.
I'm not coming around to nothing.
But this applies to what you talk about with wanting to be told the truth.
So if we all talk in this room about Motley Crue using backing tracks and basically not singing anymore and if we all talk in this room, it's basically hearsay. It's bull crap as far as everyone's is concerned. But if Vince Neil and Tommy Lee and the whole band comes out and says we've been using backtracks for 20 years because we can't sing anymore, that's a big story. That's the same thing here. If Stanley Kubrick comes out on his deathbed and says, I just want to get this out so I might be able to get into heaven, it makes someone like me just kind of sit there for 5 or 6 minutes.
As it should.
And go, wait a minute, what did I just watch here?
Well, what did
As
Paul
it
McCartney have to
should.
do with it?
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul McCartney, because back in the 70s,
conspiracy theories regarding him as well.
back in the 70s, they said that Paul died and that this is a new Paul McCartney. And that's a conspiracy theorist. And that's a conspiracy because Paul McCartney is
Michael Jackson's alive, and so is Prince.
So is Elvis too.
That's what sucks so bad about the era that we live in now is that if there are 100 lies online, but one of them comes out like we didn't go to the moon, it's like you can bundle all of these lies into your mind and go, this is all conspiracy garbage. Like me, I come in here every single day and go, I don't trust anything. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in UFOs. Yeah, we did go to the moon. Well, what the hell's real and what's not? You know what I mean? How do you know what's real and what is not real anymore? You know, it's like liberals and conservatives. We heard for 2 years about the Russia stuff from Trump,
and nothing
was real.
Right, nothing.
And there are still soccer moms here in Chesterfield, Missouri, that believe that Trump peed on hookers over in Russia, and it wasn't true. None of it was true.
They think he is just the devil.
Exactly. And they even will source it out as well, why don't you like Trump? Because he was peeing on hookers over in Russia. No, he wasn't. Well, you can't prove it to them anymore because it becomes part of their truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we're fighting still, is we're dealing with their truth that isn't real.
Right.
And one other topic that we had to get into today, guys, it goes to show where you are. At some point in time, I think everybody feels this way. They do. Unless you have an AI robot now. The U.S. Surgeon General calling for action regarding what he says is the ongoing epidemic of loneliness and isolation. Loneliness and isolation. He says, quote, lacking connection increases the risk for premature death to more than 60%.
Yeah.
The social disconnection increases the risk of premature death to the same levels as smoking, up to 15 cigarettes a day. Think about that. And it gave me chills when I saw this morning. My neighbor lost her husband unexpectedly recently.
Yeah.
I saw her out in the yard yesterday. I hadn't seen her much. I was pulling in my trash cans and I yelled across the yard to her. And then I'm like, are you hanging in there? And she just almost broke down.
Oh, poor
because
baby.
she's by herself.
Yeah.
You have a husband and somebody you're with for 32 years and then poof, gone. They're gone just like that.
Yeah.
Brain aneurysm, which is a whole nother subject. She says she has no idea how that happened. All of a sudden, boom. A lot of you guys who are listening to me, not hearing me, listen to me, know what I'm talking about with a sudden brain aneurysm out of nowhere. But you could tell that she was lonely all of a sudden. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I could totally see that.
I could.
But for the Surgeon General to say that up to 15, the equivalent, continued sustained isolation, loneliness, the same up to 15 cigarettes a day.
Well, most loneliness is clinical because it's like depression, but there's a tangible reason why you're depressed because you're lonely. That's when someone usually dies, and that grief can be outrageous. And I have known
And
people,
that's one sort.
well, it's one, but it's probably the biggest one. I do know a few people where the husband died and the wife died a few months later because of a broken heart. I have seen that before.
So have I.
Yeah, it's so sad.
That's the worst
Yes.
because it is physical, it's mental, it's torturous, and at some point, they just pull you out.
Well, and the thing that has happened that everybody keeps forgetting is this whole shutdown. Some people did not get back into a routine. Many of them are working from home. They lost their friends. We maybe can't relate to that because we're a group of people that got out the whole time. But there were people that really believed it and stayed in a mask, and they're still not on the other side.
So have you been to what's your flavor of supermarket? Is it Walmart, Schnucks, Deerbergs? What is it?
Deerbergs.
Target.
Yeah, probably Deerbergs and Target, but I go to Walmart too.
Okay.
And
social media, this weird era that we live in, has made us not look at people in the eye.
That is true.
I always will
And
walk
specifically with kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will always walk down the aisles just because I'm kind of an extrovert, and I'll try to look at somebody that's in my way and smile and go, "How you doing?" They won't do it. They keep their eyes on the ground.
So true.
They say, "Excuse me," maybe. They come to Walmart. That's my
If you
that's
and
my
I ran
stomping
into
grounds.
It's
But
true.
they'll come to Walmart in pajamas that look like haven't been washed in like a month and a
Exactly.
half.
Yes.
They just our mentality.
He's right.
Our mentality went from the 1980s to dressing nice to get on an airplane.
Yes.
To I don't give a damn.
That's all
anymore.
society. You're
It
right.
is. But
It is.
but then you throw social media into it, and I was thinking about this. I go that guy right there is probably pretty attractive on social media, but right in front of me, he looks like a dog's ass. Oh my God, take a shower.
But
Take a shower or something. But on social media, this is where people live their lives.
True.
Which is going to be naturally unhealthy and lonely when you don't get the thumbs and the likes and the hearts floating all over the place. Then you're lonely.
Well, the Surgeon General's
It's
office.
too late. You can't learn how to go out and be an extrovert and actually meet
tough.
people.
It's tough.
You see what I
It
mean?
It is. It
Even
is.
These kids are screwed.
But even the Surgeon General, they're trying. They put out guidelines, which also include recommendations of infrastructure changes, such as developing parks and libraries that enhance social connection.
Yeah.
Policy changes allowing for paid family leave and accessible public transportation and more research to efficiently address social isolation. I don't know if I agree with the recommendations, but it is such a story now, backed by medical science, that they're trying to do something, or at least bringing this to the forefront.
Yeah. What kind of medication could you give somebody for that?
Sunshine and to get out
Sunshine.
and talk with a friend.
Drugs are the worst
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, don't take any
ever.
medicine.
Well, tell that to the pharmaceutical companies.
Right.
I'm sure they got something right now.
Oh, I'm sure they do. And that's part of the problem too, is everybody's medicated more now than they ever were before.
Yeah.
And
remember when Prozac came out?
yes, I do.
remember.
My
I was
aunt
like,
took it and totally changed.
it can kill people.
Yes, she is not the same person. She's actually
Exactly.
mean and sad and nasty.
Who are you
ever
talking
since-
about?
My aunt. He
Oh,
asked about Prozac.
Joe, what were you going to say, buddy?
I was just
Joe.
going to say, here's a conspiracy for you. I think they're gearing up to give us a nice robot that will watch over us and keep us company.
Like what kind of
That
robot?
sounds really
Like a-
weird, but I don't know
An
that you're off
AI
base.
deal?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, if people will
I could
buy
see
it,
coming.
If people will
Not-
buy it,
maybe not in our lifetime, but
I'm
It's
seeing.
probably
I think
coming.
you're right, man. And it's.
So too.
I'm wondering if those Boston robotic dogs aren't for like home security kind of stuff, and then those will morph into take care of my kids kind of stuff, and then those will morph into make me pancakes in the morning kind of stuff, and then before you know it,
Right.
you won't look at anybody that's a human being.
Have you seen that robot in Walmart that like
Yes.
goes around and I'm
Yes.
not sure what it's doing.
No,
I don't
here's
think
what
it's
it
right.
Target. It's Target.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
it's in several stores. I did the story on the first robot, so to speak, in the St. Louis area. It was at Schnucks. What it does is it zooms up and down the aisles at late at night and when less shoppers are around, and it's doing inventory.
How about that?
Okay. I
It
thought
does
it was
inventory.
security.
No,
Okay, that
it's-
makes sense.
Unless they've rolled out a new AI
I don't
security
know.
bot, which is all possible.
So Christy has a server robot at the bottleneck.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you told us about that
Yeah.
before. I
And
loved
it always gets stuck.
There's
I'm sure it gets stuck.
How do I'm just curious, but it doesn't take orders, right?
Yes.
So do you push a button?
It rolls.
And
It rolls
records?
up to you at first. When you get over the shock of a robot rolling up to you, then you basically use the kiosk. I believe, and then it orders for you, and it rolls around. And then when your order's up, it comes and gets it.
That's a lot of trust to have a robot, and somebody sees a drink coming to you.
Right.
How
do they
hard for
card
me to
the
trust
person?
people?
Well, it's because human beings are still morons. They'll take whatever's on that little tray and walk away with it as it's rolling by you. You know what I mean? It's like if you see a bunch of margaritas coming at you, you're like, why don't you just grab one of those margs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like there's still a lot to be hashed out with.
Maybe that could help with the social connection, the social interaction as well. Getting out, checking on people. That's one thing.
That's another great thing about church. I was always a person that said, you know what? I'm going to have my own spiritual beliefs. I'm going to explore it on my own. I don't need church. I don't need a congregation. I don't need to wake up at 8 a.m. on a Sunday. That's not my thing. But I'll tell you what, right now in this time that we live in, church makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does.
Amen, brother. Preach it, Eric.
More than ever.
Preach it.
If you're lonely, or if you are looking at this time period that we're living in, man, I'm telling you what, there's nothing better than going to your church to hear a good message on a Sunday, participating in maybe some of the barbecues that churches do, getting out into the community with your church, your congregation, maybe going to a few Bible studies here and there. I'm telling you what,
well, Eric,
there is a science to that alone. I did it when I was in Seattle. I did that. That was
you know what? It's a perfect segue into our friend Kathleen Morgan with Gateway NDP, because guess what? National Prayer Day is this Thursday. Kathleen, thanks for joining us. Have you heard us talk a little bit about what we've been talking about the past couple minutes?
Just for the past couple minutes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And entertaining, yes, and so true.
We're not trying to entertain.
Yeah.
Damn it.
We try to.
We're funny.
Yeah.
No, Kathleen, we appreciate it. I mean, Thursday's a perfect example of how people can connect with people, correct?
Oh, definitely. Around the St. Louis metro area, there's going to be plenty of people to connect with if you want to connect.
When it comes to that, since it is the National Day of Prayer, can you explain a little bit of the history of it for people who don't know about it? I do, because I've hosted some of these breakfasts over the years, being in local news and being a media personality.
Right. Okay. Well, the National Day of Prayer was actually started in 1952 under President Truman. And both parties of Congress unanimously voted in a National Day of Prayer annually. However, they didn't say what day until the last minute, and people didn't have time to really group up with anybody to pray with people. So under 1988, it was made the first Thursday of May, and then under President Clinton, he passed and said that the president and all 50 governors were to nation on every year on the first Thursday of May for the national. So it's for everybody in the nation to pray for our community.
Nice. So now I got to ask, since you're watching this thing, has there ever been a president that didn't participate in this for some reason? And then more liberal states like Washington State, California, who are way more secular, do they ever kind of skip the prayer thing, or do they talk bad about it? Or is there a transition going on, or is this just as solid as a rock?
Yeah, there's definitely a because we used to be allowed in the Capitol, the U.S., every National Day of Prayer. And of course, that doesn't happen anymore. Some of the presidents and governors, they actually proclamations anymore either, even though it's a law. You know, probably the California governor, but our governor here in participates. He participates at
Governor
the
Mike
Missouri
Missouri
State Capitol.
It's interesting, Kathleen. We had one of our viewers comment on our chat line just a second ago that said a Muslim prayer was sung at the White House yesterday to celebrate the end of Ramadan, and our president
Oh,
bowed,
really? Yes.
and our president bowed his head, acknowledging
Is
it
that
there.
right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
At the White House.
happened under several presidents. Like presidents did that also.
Is
Yes.
that
I'm not
you know what?
sure
I
what
hope that,
Trump did. I'm not sure what Trump did about Ramadan, but
yeah.
He
sure about
ignored it.
What did he?
Obama.
So is that a bad thing? Because as a Christian, I don't think that there's anything wrong with other religions participating in a day of prayer, whether it's
Not at all.
That's not a bad thing for this country, right?
It's not
Well,
every religion. Anyone, even atheists, can participate if they maybe themselves. I don't know, but yes, it's for. However, the events that are organized here and by National Day of Prayer organization all over the country are specifically Judeo-Christian events. So any their own events. Now you can say, well, that might cause some court cases came up about 10 years and in Michigan, but National Day of Prayer won both of those, that they did not have to invite other faiths to pray like from a microphone, but from a podium. They can attend, anyone can attend any of our prayer gatherings around St. Louis, of them in the bi-state region. So know that we want Christians to lead the prayers. Sometimes there's small group prayers too. Groups will break up at the end prayers. But anyway, St. Louis City Hall, we've had one inside years now. During COVID, we could not go in, so we met outside on the sidewalk. But it's very encouraging that citizens. So unless they have a rule that can go inside, then we cannot go inside because
that makes sense.
Right.
Kathleen, how can people find out about the events happening throughout the St. Louis area? And if you have advice for any of our listeners who are listening across the country this morning on how they can find events.
On gatewayndp.net and not in the St. Louis metro area, you can go to national.org and then there'll be a button to press and state you want, and it'll show you all of the events posted there on their website all around the country. So if somebody traveling in St. Louis, they have into St. Louis, they have said, where would you advise that I go to a group? Encouraging.
Well, Kathleen, we appreciate you jumping in today. Anything else you want to leave us with today?
I guess just that, we need God in our beliefs.
Amen.
Right. We need God. He did not promise that we would have nations, but he allowed this nation to be built on Christian principles, and it has succeeded far, further than governments and nations, and for over 200 years. And now when foundation falling apart, then we see our nation. So it only makes sense that God, who is sovereign, will answer prayer. It's a matter of what is his will. Because the Bible says always pray and never give up. Because sometimes God says, no, that's not my will. So I'll give that to you right away. And we've been seeing some mini revivals all over with young people in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And so, or a rebirth of our nation under Christian principle in the way we think it should.
That's right.
But
you know what you're doing, what this country, and you can never repeal a day of prayer, because what politician is going to be the guy that walks in and goes, we got to get rid of this? That's the beauty of it.
No, but you never know.
There are
Eric.
a lot of politicians that are wanting it gone.
Pretty audacious things. So anyway, the human heart can be evil.
You're very sweet.
I know,
Tabitha. Kathy, I love your spirit about you. I love what you do. Thank you so much. We'll continue to promote this as we have on the show. And we'll do it up through Thursday. And we are grateful for it and everything that you do over at Gateway NDP.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy.
Bye, Kathy.
Great. We need a national fish fry also.
We just
so good.
We had those, Eric.
No, I wasn't invited.
Yes, you were. You were invited every Friday. It was during Lent
at Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
You can have salmon there, and that's fish.
I know.
It is interesting. There are just some people, and I don't even want to give them the time of day, but it is interesting. How could you not like or respect that sweet woman?
Well, who doesn't?
Well, we had somebody on our chat line.
Oh no!
And it's unfortunate that it's a hardcore liberal.
Who is it?
And I'm telling you, it's sad, but in life, so many times liberalism gets associated with being unchristian. It does, or not being for Christian values. It does, and liberals will argue with me all day, up and down, long. But it does. Somebody said, and I think it's a bot, that young people are turning away from the church because of that woman and what she said.
I mean, and they probably don't even know who she is, or
that just shows you. But once again, it's my fault. It just goes to show that no matter how great you can be in life, no matter what good you do, no matter what good you're trying to do, there's always going to be at least one person who is evil, one person who tries to destroy anything good that you do, one person that is your, quote, thorn in your side, to get biblical on you, that is always going to be there doing stuff because they have so much hate in their heart.
Correct.
And something bad has happened to them that they can't get over it, that they attack others and try to tear people down.
And that tells you, like you said, their heart is so dark. And I can go farther. Satan has a hold of them. And some people might not believe that, but it's true. I mean, we all sin and we all do things wrong, but that doesn't mean that our heart is dark as long as we're with God. But if you come on a chat like that and say that, I actually think all of us should pray for that person, because that person is not nice.
National Prayer Day is Thursday.
Well,
Kathy said they'd say the same thing about Mother Teresa.
Oh, Kathy's so right.
Great.
They would.
The window peekers.
It's like, all the problems that we have. There is so many. It's so the fixes are so easy. Like this loneliness study that came out, and depression and mental illness. It's kind of like body, mind, spirit. Like back when in the 80s when I was a kid, I'd hear like these guys going, you know what, life is simple. Body, mind, spirit. Just body, mind, spirit. Take care of your body. Right? You just take vitamins, eat properly. Don't eat Pop-Tarts. Those are really bad for you. Who knew that? Don't, go to church, understand, follow a religion, because the divine is right in front of you. You don't want to be depressed. That's mental, body, mind, spirit. And it really is simple. It really is simple how easy it is not to be depressed, how easy it is not to be lonely, how easy it is to get all the trash out of your life. Social media, Facebook. I hate to keep saying that because that's where we broadcast. Social media.
There's good social media.
Maybe.
Yeah, just stay on the
maybe.
good social media, not the negative that comes after your heart.
Yeah, but you know what? That's where the negative people hang out too. Get rid of the social media. Find a job you like. Don't do something you don't like. And live a happy life, and then go help. Here's the other thing I learned. Help one person a day.
Yes.
Go out of your way. I don't care if you have to pay it forward at a Starbucks.
Great point.
Or go out and help
Absolutely.
your son.
It can be 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yes.
Call your mom. I love you. What can I do for you today? Nothing? Good. Bye. Click.
Just
You're
remember
done.
to have joy,
Yeah.
which is J is
Yeah.
for Jesus.
Yeah.
And to your point, the O is for others and then yourself. And if you do it in that order, you will be shocked at how happy your life
irony in that is when you do something for someone else, I hate to say this, you're doing it for yourself because it only helps you because you feel good about it. I'm going to help you.
Well, that's all right.
I know that's perfect.
Once again, it's human nature.
It's not just human nature. It's biblical. Go help someone else. And you're going to feel so
Preach it,
good.
Eric.
You're going to
Preach
feel
it.
so good. It's going to be like a drug. Stay away from the Ritalin. Stay away from the Prozac. Just go. I'll tell you what. Instead of that, go mow your neighbor's lawn who happens to be 90 years old.
Yes.
And you're going to come back so rejuvenated that night that you're just going to want to carry it on the next day.
Joe, real quick before you. Okay, go ahead and say something. I have a
I was
follow-up.
just going to say that the saying goes, if you want to solve your problems, help somebody else with theirs.
You'll forget about your problem.
Right.
Yes.
You know, Eric, before I got my TV job in Detroit, and I went from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was out of a job. I quit my job. I left early. I was told, sign it. We want you, sign another contract or you're going to have to leave.
Yes.
Long story short, my wife at the time was getting ready to give birth to our second child. Then time came and I didn't have a job. So I had to leave Tulsa. We moved back to St. Louis. This is before I got the Detroit job.
Yeah.
So we're renting a house in the meantime, not knowing where we're going to go.
Right.
Wife is about ready to have a baby. I sold my house in like 10 days in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So we came back and I was going through just, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And it's funny you brought this up. There was an old woman whose yard was like way high. The grass was way high. She hadn't cut it forever.
Yep.
To this day, she still doesn't know that I cut her grass.
Good. Never tell her.
That's great.
If she's even around, if she's even alive. But we were renting a house. It's interesting in the St. Charles, Missouri area. I was like, man, she needs help. And I wasn't looking for anything when I did that. True. There's been other times where I've tried to do something. I was like, oh, if I'm really nice here, I bet something will come out of that.
Yeah.
I'm human. I've done it.
Yeah.
Okay. I bet a lot of us have done it.
Yeah.
Like 3 days later, this is a crazy, not that it's always going to work out. I got an offer for this big time job in Detroit, a job that I had never even really expected, wanted. And I was like, oh my God, is that you guys showing me?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even put in for the job.
It is.
And the way that it was, if media, and TV, and sometimes it doesn't seem like it makes sense, but there is a large African-American population in Detroit. My news director was African-American. The job who I was replacing was an African-American guy.
Yeah.
And then who did they hire? A white sports guy. All of this just went. And if you don't know about quotas, they're real, especially in local TV. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, if that's not a message or a story or something to listen or pay attention to. And it only took me like 45 minutes to cut her grass.
It's the truth. Here's the thing, like manifestation, we should do a show all on manifestation. I watched this thing and I know you guys all have watched it too. It's called The Secret. Yes. And I watched this dopey ass little movie, really produced, not very well, but they talk about it's really simple. It's really simple. Put it in the universe that it's going to happen. Do it with a good intention in your heart, and it will come true. It is literally like wishing from a genie's bottle. Now, We don't know why that mechanism works. I think it's the power of positive thinking, and that if you put positive into the universe, you will get positive back. If you put negative in the universe, you will get negative back. And
I think it's easier said than done, but I agree with you, Eric.
I also believe that the universe doesn't give a damn. The universe doesn't care. If the universe thinks you're a negative person, it will give you negative back. It's like God. It's like Jesus. He basically was simple. Help your brother out, man. Help your brother out. Be a good person. Don't scam the system. Believe in God. Just believe in God, because I'm not evil. Believe in me, and you will get to the place that you want to be.
It makes sense.
He didn't build Catholic churches. He didn't build these big mausoleums. He was walking around in the desert, in the woods, and helping people. And the closer you get to that in your life, the happier you're going to be. I'm telling you, I'm a witness to that. Because my mind works so fast. It's like a furnace. My mind I'm always thinking of stuff.
Well, and if you're talking from a Christian standpoint, you go where Jesus is. And, and if Jesus is in the church, that's where you go.
Exactly. But also, just be good to people. That's the thing. And in our chat line, I see people like Drew Collins. I'll say his name. You guys don't have to. When I see him sing this negative garbage, I'm like, why? What's the purpose of even saying anything negative?
Yeah, well, somebody said pray for him on Thursday because he really needs it.
He does, and I don't mean
everybody
does.
Everybody
not
does.
in a negative way, and
yes,
not in a
everybody does.
Well, you're supposed to pray for your enemies.
Yeah,
and that's hard to do.
Kathy, if you're still listening,
but
pray
you
for
do
our
need
show.
to pray for people who don't like you.
Yeah.
And all of us have people that don't like us for whatever reason, and that's exactly who we should be praying for.
Yeah.
Well, you plant seeds.
Yeah.
And you try to do that. And that's what we tried to do with Cancel This. With Kathleen called up wanting to pay to promote her National Day of Prayer.
Why?
God love her.
Why?
For
That's
advertising.
stupid.
Because
No.
allegedly
Sweetheart.
you have to, I guess people have told her in the past that you have to pay to get your message out.
Most stations you do.
I think PSAs.
And
I think this country should invest in PSAs.
Exactly. And I told Kat, I was like, we're not going to charge you here. Are you kidding me?
But Vic, for
we
all
will
the
get you
stuff
on,
people
and we're
say-
going to promote prayer, because who doesn't need prayer?
Yes, but you're a very good human.
Okay,
So,
well, thank you, but that's
you
not.
are.
I'm not fishing for a compliment. It's more or less a deal of people charge for that.
right.
Yeah.
You charge to pray to God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always wondered, why are human hearts so evil? Why does why is it harder to be good?
Because if you believe in good, you know that there's bad. And that's your whole yin yang that we've talked about so many times.
But my
there's a
question is,
battle for your soul, not to get too
true.
in
It's a spiritual
depth
battle.
into other things.
But have
It
you
just
ever
shows
wondered
unbound.
why it's harder when they say stay in the straight and narrow? Why is it harder to be on the good side all the time? Why do you always even flip back to the bad side? Isn't that weird to think about?
Why does dessert taste better than vegetables?
Oh, Vic Faust for the
Good
win.
analogy.
From
right
from
there.
50 yards out, right there.
I mean, come on. It's
Damn, you
It's
suck.
easy.
That was good. That was a good one right there.
That was good.
With that, what a perfect way to end today's show. We appreciate everybody being a part of the show. canceltheshow.com. If you can, like, subscribe, send stars, share the show, let people know. If you know of other advertisers that we can connect with that you think would be a great fit, let us know. Check out our partners page. If you can purchase any of the products that they have, if you need them in your life, go to our partners page, check it out. Let them know you are calling from Cancel This, that you heard about it. And check it out, even if it's getting a quote, that'll help. If you know somebody that can make a donation, if you know of groups that want to back what we're doing with free speech and what we're about, let them know to contact us, or let us know so we can contact them. For Tabitha Hassel, Eric Johnson, Lizzie Sparks in the studio, Pro Joe, I'm Vic Faust. Have an awesome day. It is May 2nd. We'll see you for our next podcast, May 3rd, tomorrow.